Hi guys, this is Nick from forexfornoobs.com with the midday analysis. Today is Wednesday, the 14th of September 2016, and the time is 11:06 a.m. here in the UK. You're looking at an AUDJPY daily chart. In today's analysis, we are going to be looking at all the pairs on my list to the right here, and we're going to be looking at each time frame for these pairs. The reason we do this is because I like to do multi-time frame analysis. Basically, that means every pair, we look at every single time frame. That way we get a full understanding of what price is doing in a certain area. Why does looking at every time frame help? Well, it's pretty simple. A time frame is a snapshot of price action. Price action is fluid, it's always moving. A time frame is just one snapshot. So the 4-hour chart is just a snapshot of what price is doing every 4 hours. But if you look at multiple time frames, you see multiple snapshots. I tried to explain this concept yesterday, but I wasn't doing too well with the explanation. The analogy was a bit off. So let me try this one again, and I'll try to explain it a little bit better today. Think about price action as a race, a horse race, a race with people, whatever, a car race, it doesn't matter, just a race. If you take one picture of a race or two pictures of a race, you're never going to get a good idea of what happened during that entire race. But if you take a lot of pictures and you put them together, what do you end up with? You end up with a movie or a film or a recording. That's how you have to think about price action. When you look at a single candle, you're looking at one snapshot. When you look at a lot of time frames, like the ones I have up here, the 3-hour through to the daily, then you get more than just a snapshot. You get a lot of different snapshots. And that kind of ends up building up a much better picture of what price is doing in your head. So yeah, that's why we're looking at each and every time frame. It also ensures that you rarely, if ever, miss a trade, because as long as you do this analysis a few times per day, and I do it anywhere between 4 to 6 times per day, you will end up catching pretty much any trade that forms, because you're going to see pretty much every candle forming. One last thing about these time frames, I don't trade all of these time frames. I only trade the 3-hour, the 4-hour, the 6-hour, the 8-hour, the 12-hour, and the daily. The other ones I use just for analysis purposes. So they are there just to help me read and understand what price is doing. I'm not actually trading the other ones. So yeah, can someone please tell Lester to just refresh and then he should get sound. Anyway, let's get started with the analysis. All right, so we're going to kick things off with AUDJPY daily chart. Right now, AUDJPY seems to be kind of, I don't know, doing a bit of a reversal. Doesn't look too good. Yeah, nothing much is going on here. Nothing tradable anyway. What we are getting is we're getting a tight range forming on top of an area of support, which, you know, is not necessarily a bad thing. Stuff like this can be, well, I wouldn't say it would be easy to trade it, but let me just draw this here and then explain. All right, so if price gets stuck in this range, and it gets stuck there for a while, at some point it's going to break out. Now, that would be classed as a breakout trade, not so much a reversal trade. But it actually kind of is a reversal trade, because we're looking at this on the 8-hour time frame, right? And it looks like price is just forming on this area and getting stuck. Maybe even on the 12-hour it looks kind of like that. But if you go up to a higher time frame, so I don't know, let's do let's just pick a time frame. Let's do 36-hour. It's a bit of a weird time frame. Did I add that? Where is that? Okay, whatever. Let's just do 2-day. All right, 36 hours not working. Oh yeah, it changed it. Yeah, 36 doesn't work in TradingView. I remember now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's just go to the 2-day chart. If you look at the 2-day chart, what do we see here? We see an indecision candle. I'm not saying this is a tradable indecision candle. This specific example, it's not really tradable. But the point I'm trying to explain is that if you focus too much on a single time frame or even a few time frames, you might not see what's right in front of you. So here, it looks like price is just kind of stuck on this area of support resistance, but that's really just because we're looking at it on the 8-hour chart. If you went up to a high enough time frame, it ends up looking like a indecision candle, and this is the kind of pattern that we would look for to take reversal trades on most other time frames. Now, this specific one would not provide a decent trade, at least not for me, because the risk to reward ratio would just be way off. So yeah, the risk to reward ratio would be something like 0.7. So it's not a valid trade, but that's not the point. The point is, if this range had been a lot tighter, so if next time you're looking at another pair, and instead of the range being this wide, yeah, like kind of like that wide, it was a bit more narrow. It was kind of like this wide. And it has happened before. It's happened quite often. You know, price bounces in this tight little range, even on a daily chart. So it spends like a few days bouncing in this tight little range. Then going up to a large enough time frame will kind of give you a better idea or a clearer picture of the indecision in that range. Anyway, we're stuck here talking about this. It's not really part of the analysis because there's no trade here. So let's just move on. I just wanted to explain that concept because that's why we started these daily analysis sessions, because I wanted to start explaining price action to you guys. That way you better understood what price is doing across multiple time frames. So just to sum up, nothing really happening on AUDJPY that we can trade right now. So let's move on. Yeah, Digitalk, there's no preceding trend. Like I said, it's not actually a valid trade setup. We were mainly focusing on the indecision candle itself. That way I could kind of explain the concept of what happens when you condense a lot of small candles in a tight range. Anyway, nothing really happening on AUD New Zealand, AUD USD. And nothing really going on in AUD USD. So what it's doing right now is potentially a continuation setup, but like I say in every analysis, we're not actively trading continuation setups right now. But today I will be adding a continuation setup section to the forum. That way they can be discussed in more detail because I am looking to start trading them as part of my main strategy. But here we have what looks like potentially a good continuation setup. And it can be seen more clearly, yeah, on the 6-hour. On the 6-hour, it looked quite good because price is, you know, breaking below, came back up to this resistance area and is now bouncing away. So it's going to start, it looks like it might start creating new lows. I'll try to get the continuation section of the forum up in the next few hours. That way we can post this here and we can monitor it and see how it goes. Anyway, Euro AUD, let's see what's going on with Euro AUD. Nothing much. It's in between two support resistance areas, so we're not going to get much happening there. Euro GBP is just above an area, so we're not going to see much happening here. Euro JPY. Euro USD. Nothing much going on all these pairs. GBP AUD. Now this one is a bit interesting. This one we were looking at yesterday for a potential short trade, which never ended up triggering. It still looks like it's stuck on this resistance area really, but now the risk to reward ratio is just probably not going to be good. Yesterday the risk to reward ratio was just good enough, and the candle has changed since then. It's not as favorable. You could still grab 1.5, but yeah, I'm not too sure about this. I don't want to trade it. It's all right. Nothing on GBP AUD. GBP CAD. I'm not sure why we have this. Yeah, this shouldn't be on here. So let's get rid of that. USDJPY. Nothing really going on there. GBP USD. New Zealand USD. Wasn't there a trade posted to the forum about New Zealand USD? What was that? Oh, it was a long trade, but yeah, well, I adjusted my support resistance areas on this one down to here, if I recall. Yeah, I placed one area here. I don't know why they're not where I set them. And I placed one area there. I think, something like that. But anyway, I didn't actually get into the trade. It was posted to the forum, this long trade here. It hit its 1.5 risk to reward ratio, so I'm not sure if whoever posted it exited at that point. USD CAD. USD CHF. And USDJPY. All right, so it looks like nothing is really forming right now. No actual reversal setups. That does not mean that there's no potential for trades today. It just means that in this morning's analysis, which I'm doing right now, there is no setups. But when I look at my chart again in a few hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, whenever I look at them again, there might be trade setups at that point. You're not going to find a trade setup every single time you do analysis. You're in a GBP CAD 12-hour short. All right, let's check that one out then. Is that maybe why I had GBP CAD open? Might have saw it on the forum and opened it up. All right, I see where you entered. Did you get a little bit impatient and enter on the 12-hour, or was it a conscious decision? Because of the indecision candle. Fair enough. I'm just getting some support resistance areas up here. Just some rough areas. Not going to spend too much time drawing them. Just something like that is going to be fine for now. Okay, on the 12 hour, you entered short. Yeah, it looks kind of okay. I probably would have waited for the daily. Yeah, I would have waited for the daily. But the risk to reward ratio, like you said, is probably not going to be as good. Well, it's definitely not going to be as good, but it might not be good in general. Let's take a look. Yeah, risk reward is not that good. I could see why you entered here. You took a bit of a chance, but yeah, I could see why you entered here. It really does make a huge difference to risk reward ratio, and it ensures that you're out at a 1.5 risk to reward ratio before it hits this minor support resistance here. You're short on AUDJPY 4 hour. Right, I see. You have your resistance area around about here. Let's check that resistance area up on the 12 hour. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess I can kind of see resistance there. It's making that second attempt now. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's a valid short trade. It's not on my resistance area, but you know, what does that mean at the end of the day? Just because I haven't drawn this resistance area doesn't mean that it's not resistance. When you look at it, it clearly is showing sign of resistance. So yeah, it made the second attempt to break it on the 4 hour. I could see why you entered. Oh, good luck with that trade. It's certainly not a bad trade. Wait, let's look at the risk reward ratio though, because the upper wick seems pretty big. Oh no, that's plenty. You got a good risk to reward ratio there. Yeah, man, good luck. Are you going for a 1.5 risk to reward, or are you going for a full 2? All right, so because there were no setups today, well, no setups right now, please do keep an eye on the blog or for you guys, the forum. I will be updating this analysis throughout the day if I do see any setups forming. There's always potential for setups to form later in the day. We've got a lot of strong support resistance areas, and price is nearing those support resistance areas. So, you know, that means that it's very possible that we're going to get a nice setup forming on one of those areas. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up below. If you have any questions regarding this video, then leave a comment below and I'll respond to it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get notified as soon as I upload my videos. My Facebook and Twitter are in the description below. Thanks again for watching and happy trading.